What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Mr. Albert Lopez channel. My name is Albert Lopez. I am your entrepreneur dad, and what's up to my entrepreneur families? Whether you're an entrepreneur dad, mom, uncle, sister, brother, neighbor, grandparent, any of those titles you could insert after the word entrepreneur, as long as you're an inspiration to a little one. If you're a young entrepreneur, teenage entrepreneur, you've come to the right channel. Today we're going to be talking about a title that we were going to talk about yesterday. If you click on the video that's right, I guess it would be, if you have it in order, right above it or right under it, where I think the title was What to Do When Things Go Wrong. That was yesterday, which is, this video was supposed to be shot yesterday, but some stuff went down, so I had to do the video today instead. So the title of this video, if you saw the thumbnail, is Why is Entrepreneurship Important? I'm going to give you my 3 takes. I could talk about this probably for hours. If we were to do like a live and we have Q&A, we'd probably go on for days on all the benefits that everyone would have, because I think they're very tailored. The importance of entrepreneurship is very tailored to oneself. Besides being wired that way, I think anybody who's an entrepreneur is wired a certain way, and it's man, I don't want to really have the possibility of going down a rabbit hole and just talking about something totally different, but I want to stay with the topic of the importance. Why is entrepreneurship important? And I'm going to give you my top 3. Like I was saying though a second ago, we could just have a really lengthy conversation because everybody would give their opinions, and probably everyone's opinion would match or would be agreed by everyone else, but maybe in a different order. But ultimately it would be, they would all be very similar and specific to one's life. But I know that the entrepreneur families out there, anybody involved in this kind of a lifestyle, this kind of a mindset, would understand and be able to talk about this topic, which is why it's important. So the first 3 I got that I'm gonna include in this video, they're not in any particular order. Like, I'm not putting them as more important and then 2 and 3. I'm just kind of, the way I wrote them, the way I thought about them throughout the day, is the way that I'm gonna lay them out. The reason why I think that entrepreneurship is important is because you have the freedom of time. Time is your biggest asset. You only have so much of it from the time you enter into this world to the time you expire. That's the most valuable asset that you have. And then if you're a full-time entrepreneur, you have that freedom. You have the freedom to, and even if you're part-time, let's say you're committed to a employment at a job, a certain part of the day. Afterwards, you have that freedom. You have that freedom to work in or on your business, or not to, or how many hours, or how much intensity you're going to put into it, or whether you're just going to do it in early in the morning, and then a little bit in the afternoon, and then in the evening. You have that freedom. You have the freedom of your time. If you're a full-time entrepreneur, it gives you that freedom to go to the gym whenever you want. Adjust your schedule that way. You want to go when it's like popping and everybody's there and you're shaking hands with all the friends and all the homies, you can. If you want to go when it's not so saturated so you can really focus and get down on the get down, there's not a lot of distractions. I with my wife, one of the recent ones that we talked about, is we love going grocery shopping at like 10 in the morning, when the before work and school folk go shopping in the morning and they're a little bit kind of in a hurry, kind of stressed out, kind of thinking about what they're going to make for dinner. After they leave and before the lunchtime, I got to go get groceries at lunch, or definitely before the got out of school, got out of work, got to go get my groceries. I'm pushing my cart. I'm kind of grumpy because it was a tough day. We figured out that the best time for us to go grocery shopping is 10 in the morning. Between 10 and 11. Definitely before 12. So it's the freedom of time. It's a beautiful day today. I'm going to stop what I'm doing right now. I'm going to grab my dog and I'm going to go to the park. I'm going to grab my fishing pole. I'm going to ask my son, knock on my son's door. Hey, you want to go fishing? On a Tuesday at 11:30 in the morning, at 12:30 in the morning. Hey, let's take the dogs to the lake. You want to go? Yeah. Hey, let's go walk around at the sporting goods store. You want to check out some stuff? Yeah. You want to play catch? My wife, you want to go for a walk at the park? You want to go for a run? And we usually, do it at the gym or whatever, but it's such a beautiful day. You want to go this evening? You want to go? It's that freedom. And doesn't mean that you're not working. Doesn't mean that, a misconception. Entrepreneur, you're just at the house, or you do whatever you want. You go into the office whenever you want. It's not true. You're just putting in that work time either at a different part of the day, on a different day, or including it while you're doing the other activity. Let's say I decide to go for a run. That'd be a good opportunity to listen to a podcast or an audiobook that I consider part of my work day. It's part of my education, and it's considered, like I said, part of my work block. So I'm gonna multitask. I'm gonna go for a run. I'm gonna go for a walk, and I'm gonna listen to that video I've been meaning to listen to, or that podcast, that audiobook. So I'm still getting that work done, but now I'm also enjoying what I want to enjoy. That's the freedom. I can adjust it and do what I need to do, and do when I want to do it. You definitely can't slack, though. That's a discipline. There I go down the rabbit hole, right? The discipline of, just because you're gonna go do something right now because you can, doesn't mean that hour or 2 hours or 3 hours is gonna get minus from the stuff that you need to do. You gotta make sure that you check off all the boxes of the stuff that you need to do that day. That comes into discipline. That's for another video. The discipline of being an entrepreneur. So number one, the freedom of time. That, I think, is really important. The financial freedom. Ultimately, that's what you want to do. Ultimately, you want to have financial freedom. Going back to the other one, you know what? Never mind. Skip it. We're good. Let's move on. Number two, money freedom. And I know typically we hear financial freedom is when you don't have to worry about cash. You got enough money coming in, you got enough money stored away, you're good to go. That's financial freedom. The kind of financial freedom that I mean here is the freedom to either give yourself a raise that week, that day, that month, because you want something, because you need something, because you want to get a gift for someone, you want to donate a little bit more, whatever it is that you want to do, you have the freedom to say, I'm going to work a little bit more this week. I'm going to work a little smarter. I'm going to figure out this thing. I'm going to figure out this promotion, or I'm going to make more phone calls. I'm going to follow up harder. I'm going to meet new clients. I'm going to go networking a little bit more. I'm going to network on the comment section of videos and posts. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to do a little bit more work because I want more money to do this thing that I want to do. Whether, like I said, it's a trip, it's a gift, it's some new Jordans, it's a new hat, it's a new sweatshirt, new hoodie, whatever. You have the freedom to say that. That means you're going to work a little harder. That means you're going to stay longer at the office, at your workstation. 10 more emails, 10 more messages, 10 more posts that you're going to put on the comment section, or 10 more posts you're going to put on the comment section of a YouTube video. You're going to reply, all that kind of stuff, right? This is just more time that you're going to invest. In return, you're opening up the hose a little bit more to bring in more money, thus giving yourself the freedom to make more money that week, that month, that quarter, that year. If in other situations, you get compensated for this amount of work. So you could ask for a raise, but you don't really have the freedom to say, and this is not like concrete black and white. I'm sure there's exceptions, and I'm sure there's certain jobs where you can commission, sales. That's a wonderful game too. But I'm talking just kind of your traditional. You punch in, you punch out, you make this amount of money for this amount of time. When you're selling your time, there, as much as you want to stay overtime, if there's no overtime available, it's not going to happen. And then there's times where you don't want overtime because you want to go to your kid's practice, or you want to do something at the house, a project you got going on. You can't because there's overtime, and they'll frown if you don't take it. And you kind of think, well, like, shoot, I got to take it. I got to get it while the getting is good, right? So you don't have that freedom. When you're an entrepreneur, it's important to be able to know that you have the freedom to make more money, and also you have the freedom and the awareness that if I'm gonna take it easy a little bit. I don't know why you would want to do this, but if you wanted to take it easy a little bit, you have the potential of making less, especially if you're in the early part of your entrepreneurship where you're self-employed, you're a one-man crew, and self-employment is a great way to start, but ultimately you do want to grow and go on to the next steps. But when you are self-employed, you are trading time for money. The only thing is that you're in charge of that time and how much time you want to put in and how much money you're going to get. It's a little different than punching in for an organization versus you owning the organization and saying how long you're going to work or how little you're going to work. Goes back to the responsibility thing. But staying here, not going down the rabbit hole and going off onto a different topic, the freedom of knowing how much you want to make or being able to make a little bit more, a lot more, depending on how your organization works. You do have the freedom to make more, to give yourself a raise if you want to, and you have the knowledge and the grit and the perseverance to make more. That's number 2. And then number 3, and again, because I'm on the last one and it's number 3, and it's probably the more lengthier one, I'm going to probably slow down and try to explain it as much as I can. Number 3 is not number 3 because it's the lowest on the level. Like I said, they're not in any particular order. I just went to this one at the end, the best for last maybe, but it's going to go a little longer in hopes that I could explain it as best as I can. Number 3 is, it's important because you have to use and you're able to use your natural talents. I think in entrepreneurship, even if your natural talent, and even if it's just the idea of doing something, of starting a recycling business, a collecting aluminum cans business, something as basic as that. By the way, that was my first business ever. That's your talent. The fact that you thought about it, the fact that in your head you thought, I'll collect cans, I'll put them in a bag, I'll go to the recycling center, I'll get money. Repeat. That right there is a talent. Now what you do with the money, you buy yourself something, you reinvest it, you whatever. Again, down the rabbit hole. I'm just saying the idea. Whether if you create a product, I'm going to sit here, or there's a need for a some sort of a cool gadget to run dogs. I want to run my dog on a bike. I'm always afraid that it's going to knock me down because it's a big dog. I'm going to come up and brainstorm and invent a unit that will allow me to take my dogs out for long runs because they love to run and pull, and it's going to keep me safe and it's going to keep them safe. That right there, that is a talent. That is a talent that you were programmed with, and it's important to use your talent, not only for yourself to let it out. Like, an unused talent is such a sad thing. If you have a talent, use it at whatever level you can. And now we have the internet, so the middleman is cut. You just put it out there. Start designing. Start thinking. That's the first half. The obligation you have to use your talent. I think it's a duty and obligation to use your talent. If you don't, what a waste. That's why you were put here on this planet, to find your talent and use it. And that's another topic that we could get into. As the entrepreneur parents, I think it's one of our biggest also obligations to pay attention to our kids, to see what their talent is, and inspire them to, like, hey, by the way, I noticed you're really good at this. And then from there, let's try a bunch of stuff that is relatable to that and see which one sticks. And not expect them to do anything right then and there, but just them to be aware that they have that talent. Going back, the first part of it, having the talent and putting it out there and using your talent to create things, whether it's, like I said, a physical product, a digital product, an audio, video product, whatever. You have the talent, find it and use it. That's the first part. That's your, like I said, your duty and your obligation. The second part to that, and it kind of completes the cycle, is whoever uses your product, the benefit that they're going to get. The person who sees your unit and says, I can walk my dogs with that. They've been longing to go for runs where they can pull me and they're safe and I'm safe. I want it. They get it. They bring it to their house. They get on it. They put their dogs on it. Off they go. The goodness that is a full circle. It's goes from your talent, thinking about it, putting your mind to work and creating it, and all the ups and downs and trial and errors and scratch it and do this and prototypes, and it worked, and actually going out there and maybe doing some cutting and some welding and some screws and bolts and sewing and straps, and one design did work. You want to make it better. Now this, now that. Now you got it. It goes through that process, the production, right? And then the prototype, and then you test it, and then it works, and then you customize it for somebody because they placed an order. They love it. Now they have a great sensation in their body because you filled that need that they had. And not only for them, because now they feel good because they get to take their dogs out, and now the joy that the dogs are feeling, now the joy that they're feeling with their owner, and the joy that they're feeling while they're on there, that's that full circle connection. That's why I think that last one is just so important. Why entrepreneurship is important, because it has to do a lot with your ideas. It has to do a lot with your talent, whether, like I said, you're creating a physical product or a digital product. Just the fact that you're thinking about it and putting it out into the universe, and the fact that someone could use it. A painting, you make it, you think about it, you make it, you create it, someone buys it or gets it as a gift or whatever, displays it on their wherever, we'll say a wall or on their desk or whatever, and they enjoy it, and every time they walk by, they loves it. It brings a warm, beautiful feeling in their heart. That's started with your thought, and it's a full circle. And that's the third one right there, is one that I think is really important on why entrepreneurship is important, because it brings goodness from your inside to the universe. You express yourself using a talent that you have, and someone else receives the benefit and the joy of that talent. I hope that made sense. I think it did. It sounded good as it was going. If at the moment when I'm saying it, I'm like, dang, I hope, man, I hope that makes sense. But this one, I think it did. As I was going, I was like, I'm nailing it. I'm nailing. So I think it did go through freedom of time, freedom of how much Gouda you make, how much cotija you make, and then, of course, the use of your talent in bringing that product out into the market so someone else can actually use your talent. You use your talent, and someone else uses what you made with your talent. All right, my entrepreneur family, thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks so much for clicking the video. That's going to do it for today. I'll come by tomorrow, hopefully, and I'll see you in the next video. Make it a great day.